Hello everyone and welcome back to Farming Simulator 2022. We're back here on Elm Creek with Grober Games. Last episode we ended the month of November. We actually barely got enough money to make our next big investment, which was a chicken barn. As you can see here, they're already producing pretty well. We don't have a full barn yet. I think I only bought 120 layers and the rest were still maturing yet before they started laying. As you can see, I got all the produce over the winter loaded up. We were running low on water, so that might be a task I might do this episode just to show you the boring process of it. But yeah, we're about 3,500 liters of water, a little under actually now. And here is our chickens. And we already got a full barn over the winter because the two roosters we got in there. There's one of the boys right now strutting around. And we're already getting down there on feed, which is unfortunate. I think I only got about 1,000 liters left in the silo for storage. Yeah, 1,200 liters of wheat, so hopefully we will be able to get some make it to harvest for the winter barley, which I think is going to be like July, maybe? June is the earliest, so if I think we're using about 1,200 liters a month, if my math roughly. So we have barely just enough to get us by, but as you can see, we're pretty much broke. Once again, the contractors kind of gave us a quote, a little bit. Always goes a little over than what we were expected. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to head over to the farmers market. They're the ones giving the best price on everything right now. We got on our trailer all our tomatoes, strawberries, lettuce, and eggs. So we're gonna go get rid of a load of this so we can continue operating, keep paying our electric and water bill and such, keep our normal expenses from going too much. And then since we're already done with all our spring work, since we technically don't have any since we planted all winter crops this year, I am thinking we're going to be obviously picking up a few contracts. We just don't have enough of our own ground where where we have too much of our own work. We can't stop doing contract work. I haven't looked at anything yet, but the biggest issue I have right now is I have no money if we got a spraying contract to buy any more chemicals, because if you remember from the last few episodes, we're pretty much empty. I think we only had like 20 liters left in the sprayer. And fertilizer, we got enough, but I don't know for most of the big contract fields we get from people if we're going to have enough to do that yet either. So we're going to swing in here. Let's see here. I got to unload on this side. I haven't sold here before, so. There we go. Wait for that sold while we're waiting for them to get everything unloaded. See what we got for contracts out there. We're still early in the season, so don't have a whole lot out there yet. Yes, potato sowing contract, which we could do, which just from the last Farming Simulator game, I don't want to because they are freaking. It just takes so unbelievably long. There's a sorghum one, which we could maybe do with our own equipment, but I think that's a little bit big. The drill we could borrow is a little bit bigger, so we'd be able to get done faster, but otherwise, we don't have a whole lot of options for work out there. There's a lot of cultivating contracts. A few $100 each right there. And we can't really be too picky because we're pretty much broke at the moment. Pick up all these fertilizer contracts and do those. Those would probably be the best option right now. We got a little over. We got about $6,400 from selling those eggs. So the chickens and the produce. So the chickens then are starting to pay for themselves a little bit, but we got a ways to go before they get themselves all paid off. But right now, we'll head on back, and we'll get the class hooked up to fertilizer spreaders. Whoop. Figure out here how much fertilizer exactly we have, because I think we might end up picking up those few fertilizer contracts for this episode to do that. And we're keeping an eye on the bean market. It's starting to get to the point where they're about ready to, there's a good point to sell them. We're not quite there yet, so we'll have a good chunk of change back. Over the winter, I didn't really keep an eye on the used market. It was kind of pointless since we literally had no money to make the next investment or anything like that, so I just didn't bother looking, because no reason to think about what you could have gotten when you don't have the funding. So we're gonna just, I think sometime I gotta fill that in or something, get a culvert put in, and so that way it's not such a steep drive down. I didn't get any of the equipment clean from last season, so everything's sitting dirty. The only thing that's somewhat clean is the tractor, and that's because of all the baling we did last episode in the rain. Kind of washed it for us. But let's see here. But yeah, even in the used equipment market, nothing worthwhile. We already got a drill, so we don't really need that one either. We don't do poplars, and we don't have a big enough combine, and our wagon's good enough for our size operation for now. So I think let's unhook the wagon. Didn't even put the lime away from last year yet. Just been kind of more focused on taking care of the birds, because they are going to, hopefully when we get to full production, they are going to be helping us a lot. We got about close to 900 liters of fertilizer left. So I think what we're going to do, get our flashers on. I think we're going to head on down, use some of the little bit of money we have left, pick up 2 bags of fertilizer, fill up the spreader. And I think, where are those contracts? We'll pick up all the fertilizer contracts for now, because the cultivating, whoop. This is why you should definitely not text and drive, or be on your phone or any device like that. But we should be able to hit all these fields pretty. Yeah, we got a pretty good layout, fertilizer fields to fertilize. So I think we'll hit all those up. That'll give us a decent chunk of money back. Granted, we don't really need 2 bags of fertilizer, but if I get 2 now, I won't have to worry about filling up for a bit. Probably head up to field 28 first. Yeah, we'll head up and over to field 28. Grab that one first. And then we'll head across the interstate and hit up field 61, and then we'll hit 53 on our way back to the farm. And then after that, we might drop this off, hook up the water tanker, and get our greenhouse taken care of, and that might be what we do for the month of April. There's not a whole lot going on. I figured there'd be a lot more people needing help, but I guess a lot of people are starting to handle it themselves this year. You know, times are tight, as you can tell for us. We're down to $3,000, but the investment of fertilizer will easily get us back over the $6,700 I think we had before I spent the money on fertilizer here. Because the worst case scenario I'm thinking is I don't think we'll have to buy any chicken feed, but if we do, it's about $1,000 for 1,000 liters, which is ridiculous, but I guess we weren't as prepared as we thought we were. Maybe I should have held on to some of that sorghum from that other person I helped out last year, but if I did that, we wouldn't have had enough to buy the chicken house through the winter and start producing eggs. But I think this is the best route. I think we're going to go into the time lapse here. Shouldn't be too long. Like I said, we're going to probably end up going back and hooking up to the water tanker, dumping what water we have left in there, and picking up a few loads of water to get our greenhouse hopefully taken care of for most this year. So we'll see you guys in a bit.
The blackbird inside your chest that calls on you to cry. You decided it was time for him to fly out of the darkness and into the light, higher and higher out of sight. The whisper inside your heart tells you let go. Time to leave the past. You did what you knew. Slow down and rest. You've been through a war. No one can hurt you anymore. Behind closed eyes, memories unfold. Hidden secrets, shimmering gold behind closed eyes, where the shadows play. There's no looking the other way. Behind closed eyes. There's a song inside your soul, waiting to be heard. Sing it aloud, you've written every word. Oh, out of the silence and into the unknown. Louder, louder, let go. Behind closed eyes, memories unfold. Hidden secrets, shimmering gold behind closed eyes, where the shadows play. There's no looking the other way. Just let the music play. Oh, let it play. Behind closed eyes, the memories unfold. Hidden secrets and shimmering gold behind closed eyes, where the shadows play. There's no looking the other way. Just let the music play behind closed eyes. Behind closed eyes. Behind closed eyes, where the shadows play. There's no looking the other way. Blackbird inside your chest calls on you to cry. You decided it was time for him to fly.
So as you probably can tell, I decided to pick up that sewing contract. We needed something else to do for the day. I'm glad we got all the fertilizer contracts knocked out. At least got a little bit more income for us. But I think doing this sewing contract might help us quite a bit too. It's probably going to take at least next part of the episode, I'm guessing. This is a pretty large field for a setup like this, I feel like, personally. But this is just what the customer wanted to rent out, so that's just kind of what we're stuck with. I'm kind of surprised. One thing that kind of shocks me is this 7R doesn't have any rotating beacons on it. Usually that's pretty standard on anything anymore. But it's doing an alright job. I wouldn't mind getting something like this. But I think that's quite a ways off yet. I'd like to... I think another piece of ground or two, and then we might have to start investing into a second tractor for tillage if we go more into the springtime planting stuff, which we probably will at some point. It's just right now it's not the best thing because we decided to invest into some livestock, which I think is gonna provide us more of a steady income than we got now. Thing seems to be spinning out quite a bit here, which kind of surprises me. I wouldn't think it would be. I wonder if we lift the seed box up front off the ground, maybe that'll help a little. Give that a whirl here, but no, it's still spinning a good amount. But I guess that it is a lot of weight on the rear end, even though it shouldn't really be on the rear end anymore. But yeah, we'll get back into the time lapse here. Like I said, I imagine this will take into the next episode, especially at the speed we're going and such. And I don't know if you noticed, the wheels are turning white now. The Real Dirt mod has come out, and it's in the mod hub, and it's always, ever since I found it in Farming Simulator 19, it's always been one of those mods that I'll have in every game mode, no matter what type thing, just because I think it's a nice mod. Oh, come on. Why aren't you? There we go. Still having one of my other things is I'm still having a hard time kind of telling what piece of equipment I have when I have two pieces on. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. There is a little beacon on there. I guess I never realized they switched those. That's interesting. One thing we'll do to your two quick, we'll get the Autosteer set up because Might as well enjoy something that we don't have yet. Make us a little bit more efficient. I can't remember. I think I forgot to set the width. Guess I did. But yeah, that'll... I think I'll make 3 passes along the headlands here. And then we'll start doing the middle section of the field. It's also one of the weird things too that I've noticed when planting, at least I did it when I always did it this way, is that I always plant with the right hand side to the edge of the field. I never started planting on the left hand side. I've always just started on the right hand side. And I don't know the real reason why I've always done it like that. I don't know if it's just because of the way things are set up anymore, just because, you know, your command arm is here and such, and you kind of more tendency to lean and look right. But I guess it also, with all the stuff I was running back when I was working for the one farmer, everything was always in the right-hand window of the cab, which makes sense, so having all that information right in front of you. But it's just one of those odd things I've just thought about here while I was planting. One of the other odd things too, and I know I haven't done it in the episode, is I've always tell myself I'm going to start combining with the unload auger on the left hand side, just in case I would get full and need to unload, so that way I don't have to back out of the field, or I can cut an opening, or back up and cut an opening and just have the wagon pull up to my left, and then I could go back to where I was originally combining at. Just a few of those weird things you don't think about a whole lot until you start looking at things like that. But I think we'll get back to the time lapse here, and it'll probably be, I don't know, probably do this for another 10-15 minutes in real time, just because I got some errands I gotta run today and some other things to do. So otherwise I probably try hammer this field all out in one setting. This, like I said, I feel like this is a fairly large field for something this size. Looking across, you can't even tell you've planted over there. But yeah, we'll get back to the time lapse here and we'll see you at the end of it.
Walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, 'cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like love. Tell me if I'm wrong, 'cause it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this true. Baby, you just make me feel crazy. A little crazy for you. Yeah. I think about you and I want you here with me. Am I out of my mind, or is this how it should be? You made me sing about love, so just tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love. Yeah! Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this true. Baby, you just make me feel crazy. A little crazy for you. A little crazy for you. Hey.
A little crazy for you now. A little crazy for you now, baby. I'm a little crazy for you now. A little crazy for you now. A little crazy for you now, baby.
Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine. And you can't deny we are not just killing time. You should let me know if you want this true. Baby, you just make me feel crazy. A little crazy for you. I feel crazy. A little crazy for you, baby. Yeah, yeah. Little crazy for you now. Oh, yeah, crazy for you.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. This field's taking a little bit longer than expected, but I knew it was gonna take quite a while after seeing how large it was and how kind of a small of a seeder we got to go with it. I also feel like this tractor was spinning out quite a bit at the beginning, and now it's not as much, but we're still not cruising along at a super fast pace. But I think we're gonna call it here. And then I think next episode we're gonna try and sell the beans off here. I just got them sitting at the co-op. I'm gonna wait to see if the price jumps back up. See, well, they went up 1,000, so I think, but normally they go a little bit higher in June. So I think we're gonna wait and see what happens next month and see if we can make a little bit more, because money's gonna be a little bit tight now again. But I think with the chickens and the eggs we'll be selling, we will be getting to the point where we'll be able to start making a good money, that we might be able to start getting to the point where it's really going to start snowballing. Hopefully that happens soon, because I know it's taken quite a bit to get our farm started up the way we want it, but that's just the way it is for us. But if you enjoyed the episode, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe so you can stay up to date. Above all else, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and most of all, thanks for watching.